You walk into a store. Cold air hits your skin. Bright white lights hum overhead. Somewhere, a faint electronic beep echoes. Checkout counters counting decisions. In front of you, a jacket, $500. You freeze. Too expensive. Then right beside it, another jacket, $120. And suddenly, it feels cheap, reasonable, almost irresistible. But here's the question that should make you uncomfortable. Did the price drop, or did your brain just get manipulated? What you just experienced isn't coincidence. It's something far more calculated. A psychological trap hidden in plain sight, used in shopping malls, negotiations, salaries, even courtrooms. It's called the anchoring effect, a cognitive bias where the first number you see becomes the invisible reference point for every decision that follows. But here's the darker question. Why does your brain, an organ capable of logic, reasoning, and survival, fall for something so simple? Why does it lock onto a random number and refuse to let go? Segment 1, the disturbing origins. The story begins in 1974. Two psychologists, Daniel Kahneman and Tversky, set out to uncover something quietly disturbing about the human mind. They weren't chasing madness or extreme behavior. They were investigating something far more unsettling: how ordinary people make everyday decisions. Their experiment was deceptively simple. Participants were invited into a quiet room. No distractions, no manipulation, no pressure, just a spinning wheel placed in front of them. Innocent, almost trivial, like something out of a game show. The wheel was rigged to land on one of two numbers, 10 or 65, nothing more. After the wheel stopped, participants were asked a question that had nothing to do with the wheel itself. What percentage of African countries are in the United Nations? It sounded like a test of knowledge, a question of facts, something you either know or estimate based on reason. But what happened next shattered that assumption. Those who saw the wheel land on 10 gave significantly lower estimates. Those who saw 65 gave much higher ones. Same question, same context, same level of knowledge, yet completely different answers. All because of a number that meant absolutely nothing. That number, random, irrelevant, disconnected, became what psychologists would later call an anchor, a silent starting point that the mind latches onto without permission. Even more disturbing, participants were fully aware that the number was random. They knew it had no logical connection to the question. They knew it shouldn't influence them. And yet, it did. Their minds didn't reject the number. They didn't ignore it. They adjusted around it, as if their judgment had been pulled into orbit by an invisible force, like gravity bending the path of light, subtle, unseen, but impossible to escape. This wasn't just a quirky error in thinking. It wasn't a one-off anomaly. It was evidence of something deeper, a hidden mechanism inside the human mind. Because what Daniel Kahneman and Tversky uncovered wasn't about numbers or trivia. It was about how we think, how we decide, how we judge. And the truth they revealed was unsettling. Human judgment isn't built on pure logic. It's built on reference points. Arbitrary, fragile, and often dangerously misleading. And once an anchor is set, your mind doesn't move away from it. It drifts, just close enough to believe it chose freely. Segment 2, the brain behind the trick. So what's actually happening inside your head? Why does a single number hijack your decisions so effortlessly? The answer lies deep within the architecture of your mind. Your brain is not designed to be perfectly rational. It's designed to be efficient, and efficiency comes at a cost. Whenever you face uncertainty, whether it's guessing a price, judging a risk, or estimating a value, your brain feels a kind of tension, a subtle discomfort. It hates not knowing. Uncertainty is expensive in terms of mental energy, and your brain is constantly trying to conserve that energy wherever it can. So instead of building judgments from scratch, it reaches for the fastest shortcut available. That shortcut is the first piece of information it encounters, the anchor. Rather than starting from zero and calculating upward, your mind latches onto that initial number and begins adjusting from there. It feels like reasoning. It feels deliberate, but beneath the surface, something crucial is going wrong. The adjustment is never enough. Psychologists like Daniel Kahneman and Tversky describe this as the anchoring and adjustment heuristic, a mental shortcut where the brain starts with an initial value and makes small, insufficient corrections away from it. And that insufficient part is everything. Because even when you try to think critically, you're still tethered to the anchor. Now layer biology on top of this. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, reasoning, and decision-making, steps in to regulate and correct these biases. It's the system that's supposed to question the anchor, challenge it, and push your judgment closer to reality. But there's a problem. It's limited. The prefrontal cortex runs on effort, on focus, on mental energy, and that energy is finite. So when you're tired, distracted, stressed, or overwhelmed, it starts to weaken. It stops pushing as hard. It settles sooner than it should. And when it does, your judgment stays dangerously close to the anchor. At the same time, another system quietly reinforces the problem. Your memory, closely tied to structures like the hippocampus, begins searching for related information. But instead of challenging the anchor, it often pulls in details that support it. Associations, patterns, fragments of past experiences, all of it subtly aligning with that original number. So now, the anchor isn't just a starting point, it's being validated, strengthened, embedded deeper into your thinking. And here's the most unsettling part. Your brain isn't malfunctioning, it's doing exactly what it was built to do. It's optimizing, simplifying, conserving energy. But that very efficiency, the thing that helps you survive, decide quickly, and function in a complex world, is also what makes you so easy to influence. Segment 3, the real-world manipulation. Now step out of the lab, because this isn't theory, this is everywhere. Walk into a car dealership. The first car they show you, $80,000. It's not random, it's strategic. It's designed to stretch your internal scale. You flinch, your brain recalibrates. Then they show you another, $45,000. And suddenly, it feels reasonable, even attractive. Not because it is cheap, but because it's cheaper than what came before. That first number wasn't meant to sell you anything. It was meant to redefine what expensive feels like. The same pattern repeats everywhere. Retail stores inflate original prices before offering discounts. Real estate agents show overpriced homes first. In salary negotiations, whoever speaks first often sets the psychological battlefield. Anchors don't need to be relevant to be effective. They just need to exist. Research, even by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, shows that even meaningless numbers can influence how much you're willing to pay. And here's the unsettling truth. It doesn't feel like influence. It feels like you made a smart, logical choice. That illusion, that's the real anchor. The twist in application. Now here's where it gets personal. You might be thinking, I'm not that easy to manipulate, but you don't need a luxury store or a car salesman for this to happen. Have you ever seen a discount and felt urgency? Ever thought something was cheap only because you saw a higher price first? Ever compared your success, your salary, your life to someone else's starting point? That's anchoring. Quiet, subtle, constant. Your brain builds its reality not from truth, but from the first reference it finds. And once that reference is set, everything else bends around it, even your self-worth. So the next time you see a number, a price, an offer, a comparison, ask yourself something unsettling. Is this real value or just the shadow of something I saw first? Because once you start noticing anchors, you realize something far more disturbing. They're not just in stores, they're in conversations, in media, in relationships, and sometimes they're planted there on purpose. And if a simple number can reshape your decisions, what else inside your mind isn't really yours? And that is why you need to watch the next video.